Okay, guys, I'm back at it. Back again. Back for more. So, Grixis Control is what I'm gonna do next, and I gotta port the deck over from my iPad here, so give me a minute while I put it all together. This is, I don't know, like if I were asked if this is like a spiky, one of my spiky decks or not, I'm not sure yet. It's an interesting deck, I think. I find it fun and interesting to play, and maybe you will too. It's very grindy. It's basically a black-red control deck with a tiny, tiny splash of blue for Jace and for some other spells like Fevered Visions and Brutal Expulsion, just to add a little more instant speed and versatility to the deck, so it can deal with annoying things, man lands, stuff of such a nature. I don't know if we have good solution to Wandering Falls, but all the other man lands haven't been too hard to cope with. And of course, you get your own, when you get into tricolor, you get your own man lands like Wandering Fumarole. So that's always a big pro of getting into tricolors and over two colors. Somebody asked me about that, like I was against tricolor. I was like, I think you want to be 2 or 4 colors. But then I got to playing the format more, and especially figuring out like man lands are so powerful. And if you just splash a little bit into a third color, you get to use some man lands. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So that's one of the big draws for me in just adding a tiny splash of a third color. And as long as it's a pretty small splash, you don't run into the same kind of like super clunky mana problems that other decks run into. So this deck also like avoids a lot of the double color spells. So we have nothing that's double blue. You see there's a lot of double red type cards that we're not playing at all. Of course we get up to Chandra and then it's worth it. I mean, you'll probably have double red by then when you're up to 6 mana. And then down here we do a lot of the gold cards. So Possessed Skaab is a card that, not many people run, but it is definitely a grindy critter, and it kind of has a place in this deck, just reusing Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, or reusing Gilt-Leaf Winnower, or noise like that. So we'll run one of those, we'll get like 4 of thems, and some of thems, and a few of those. Stuff like this. Yeah. I find that one of the bigger problems with running 3-color decks with a lot of that just kind of run all the colors evenly as opposed to having one color be the splash color is what to fetch with your Evolving Wilds, or when you draw like multiple Evolving Wilds and no dual lands. Like, it's kind of hard to tell what you're supposed to fetch. Now if you only have a splash color, it's kind of clear what to fetch. You take care of your primary colors first, you take care of your splash color later. Of course, that all depends on your hand, but most things given equal, unless like some of your splash cards are right there in your hand. That's the way to go. So Grixis, haven't seen much of it, haven't read much about it, haven't seen many people play it. Curious to try it and see how it does. And now that we've got it built, we can go find a game, and I can swap my iPad over to chat and see what you guys are saying about it. Hammer says, mind playing your Abzan when you get back. Yep, I mind. Sorry. I got something else planned for today. But I'm sure we'll play my Abzan a bit more in the future. I already made a video not that long ago with my Abzan. I tried to showcase some different stuff on here. And I do have a bunch of decks I haven't showcased yet, so Abzan probably won't be back up for a while. Unless I'm playing like one of those mixed nuts kind of days where I just try all my different decks, play one after another, keep on shuffling it up. Nighthawk, it got 5 stars in control. It must be good. Most of my decks get 5 stars in control. Even my aggro decks usually get 5 stars in control because I like running burn and removal spells. And it's amazing how easy it is to get 5 stars in control, but it's impossible to get 5 stars in speed. Sometimes it's tough to get 5 stars in synergy. Strength is another one that it just blows my mind. I have no idea what I'm trying to do to get 5 stars in strength. I can keep this hand on the play. It's a little slow, but on the play it should be fine. Let's see. We'll start with the hollow and see what we draw. We'll probably end up evolving Wilds into a mountain, but there might be a draw that makes me want to play a Drowned Catacomb if I draw like a Grasp of Darkness, for example, and my opponent played a turn 1 creature, but they're not. They're playing an Evolving Wilds as well, and he likes mountains with his Evolving Wilds. Let's see here. There's a mountain off the top. That is a welcome sight, but I still think it's a mountain that I want to get with the Wilds. Yeah, it is. So we'll just hold on to that for a second. No, I'll just do it right now so I can go read whatever comments are flying at me at Twitch, as that has also influenced my play style over time. Alright, I took a Chandra Ignition out of a deck for a land today, and the strength went up 1.5 stars for some reason. That must be a heck of a land. Let me guess, it's a mountain? It's a tough land. So, he's got a Pacifist. Now, we could be in a bind if he plays another big creature so he can attack with it, but what would that big creature be? I think there's a good chance, so if he passes, we can Fleshbag it. And if he plays another creature next to it, we can Radiant Flames them. If he plays Neglected Heirloom, we can Fleshbag it. So I think I can play Read the Bones this turn and be fine. But let's see how he punishes me. In the meantime, let's see, definitely want the Oath of Chandra because it looks like I'm up against some kind of werewolf deck. And I guess I may as well take the island. I mean, nothing wrong with land right now. We want to get up to Chandra, so that's fine. That's pretty much, I mean, what more could we ask for? A handful of removal with a Chandra on the top end. Yes! Alright. So, what you got, Pacifist? This is no place for a peace-loving creature. Maybe a Pump Spell? Is he going to Pump Spell? Oh, he's going to Rush of Adrenaline. Maybe he's going to Titan Strength, too. Just slap me for 8, put me at 10. That'd be pretty badass. Nope, he's passing. Alright, so that'll be some Oath of Chandra fodder, I believe. I could Fleshbag it to be safe. If he has another Rush of Adrenaline, that would be bad. Oh, if I tap like this, though, I can always play another Oath, so. He missed his land drop. That's probably not good. Not good for the quality of this game, probably. But, you know, you do what you do. He really wanted to hit me. I wonder if he has any more creatures. Turn is auto-passing. Not good for our opponent. Giving me all kinds of time. I guess what I really want is more land so I can play Chandra next turn, so I will read more bones. I would like instant speed removal and land. Okay, 2 lands. Well, I can definitely take 1. No need to draw the other. Alright, that's all good. Don't need more than 6 lands very often, although, you know, turns with like Possessed Skaab getting something then doing something do come up. And our opponent is still stuck. That's too bad. Too bad for the opponent. Too bad for the showcasing a deck. Just about anyone can beat somebody stuck on land, right? I mean, how many times have you played a brilliant deck and lost to somebody stuck on because you were stuck on land and they're playing Razorfoot Griffins? Yeah, Fiery Impulse, those tokens. That's great. I mean, you do what you gotta do, right? Oh, man. And you gotta assume he kept a hand with 2 lands, too, so he's just getting unlucky. Just getting unlucky. I feel him. We'll give it like 1 more turn, and then maybe we'll just hand him some gold and exit stage right, but let's see what he does. Pass and turn. Alright, let's see how he handles this. Maybe he has a Twin Bolt, and we can assume that he'll find ways to hang on in this battle. That is not much of a battle. Alright, we'll go land, we'll go Skaab. At this point, I don't think anybody down there in chat would say that this one's in doubt, so I'm just going to let him have the gold and some condolences on his mana screw and move on to another game. All right. Let's see if we can find something that that's a little tougher. The one thing with this deck that is really kind of awkward for me is I love Read the Bones in it. It's such a grindy deck that Read the Bones, puts in the work, and it's a really good card for the deck. But man, that life loss, you know what I mean? That life loss, yo. I've only got one way to gain life, and that is Kalitas, or Kalitas, as I think he's been renamed by Wizards of the Coast. He was supposed to be Kalitas, and now he's Kalitas because everybody says that. So we did it. We banded together, we rose up against the machine, and we changed the lore of Magic the Gathering in the pronunciation of the name of Kalitas. But anyway, he is the life gain in the deck, and he is the reason, in many ways, that Possessed Skaab is in the deck. He and Fleshbag, because you just want to keep getting it back so that you can keep trying to gain life, because the deck often gets in spaces where it needs to gain life to keep doing anything useful. So yeah, Kalitas is an important one. He is the boss. You don't want to get him declaration in stone, although there's not a lot of ways to avoid it, other than some Brutal Expulsion. But he's the man. If you're interested in this Grixis Control deck, you want to find the deck list, I did put it up on Magic Duels Helper, so it should be right at the top of my deck box. Did that right before I started this video, so you guys could have easy access to it if you want to. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube later, I'll toss it in the description. And of course, if we're going to put this on YouTube, well, we're going to need to find more games. And we're going to need to connect to some battles. Or else this ain't going to YouTube. You guys on Twitch, you get all of it. You get all the ridiculous shenanigans I go through every day. Because, live is live. YouTube, they get the cut down version. You guys get the director's cut, uncut. No, you don't get the director's cut. You get the uncut, all exposed edition on Twitch, and YouTube gets kind of the snippets, the highlight reel, the sports center of Duels, so to speak. Although I don't have the patience to go through and cut match for match, so I just chop them into hour and 2 hour blocks. I don't have the patience to go through and take out bad games or all this ridiculous waiting time that you're enduring for me right now. Thank you for enduring all this waiting time, everybody, as I try not to run out of words to say. Just another day in the CGB life. Another game of Magic the Gathering. Let's see, what else happened Magic-wise? There was no coverage on Saturday of Grand Prix New York. That was really annoying to me. That bugged me big time, because I love watching Grand Prix. And when they didn't do any coverage Saturday, but then did coverage on Sunday, well, it's Mother's Day. I gotta go be with my mom on Mother's Day. I couldn't sit around watching coverage. I had all day Saturday, nothing planned. All I was gonna do was sit around and watch coverage. And what do? They do no coverage on Saturday, and then they do coverage all day on Mother's Day. So now I have to go back and watch the coverage sometime during the week, where it's much harder for me to make time. Because during the week I stream, and during the week I watch stuff with my wife in the evenings. So there you go. Yeah, so since I couldn't watch the Grand Prix coverage, there were a lot of Xbox One Fight Club and Steam Showdown matches to watch, and that was nice. So I did get to watch a lot of duels, a ridiculous amount of duels. But man, I don't know what it is with you Steam guys. It's not. It happens on Xbox too, and maybe it's my bias creeping in, but I swear the Steam streams are so laggy, so hard to watch. It's just dragging myself through the mud trying to watch these streams of just lagathons. Ugh. It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop, you guys. It's got to stop. Up that stream quality or something. I don't know if anything can be done. Maybe there's nothing you can do. If that's the case, I'm sorry for even complaining, because I know how much I love it when people complain to me about things I can't control. So maybe it's uncontrollable, at which case, please take no offense. I will endure it. First world problems all the way, and I'm just glad to be able to watch. But at the same time, oh my gosh, if there is anything that can be done, please, please, for my eyes, for my sanity, clean up the streams. Oh my god. Watch Nighthawk made a fancy guide about streaming and how to get quality and stuff like that. Please, please guys. Check that out. We gotta do it. We gotta do it for a better society, for a better world. Our opponent's leading on a Sylvan Advocate, and I'm thinking I'm gonna give him a chance to lean into his board more to make this good. So I'm gonna have an Evolving Wilds turn, and that's gonna be that. I could have put a black source down and held up Grasp, but I really don't want to Grasp. The thing that could make me Grasp is an Aura, which I don't expect from green. But we'll see. Maybe he'll have one. He has a Timberland guide. That doesn't bother me very much. That doesn't get him out of Languish range, and it does put something else out there for me to Languish. Haven't seen some Timberland guides in a while. Obsessed Skinner is strictly better, but I believe Timberland guide comes with the deck box. Alright, blue, blue, red, black, black, red. I guess it doesn't matter. So I think the thing you want most is more black mana when all things are equal. Let's see, are you a deck box card? Now I'm just, yep, you're a deck box card, so yay. Go away! Be gone! Bruh! Alright. Languish, baby. Lockhammer had his match, and he's down here in chat, so I'm going to address his Steam Showdown, or his Xbox One Fight Club match, where he played against Ghost, who was running a red-green ramp deck. I thought that his draws were pretty bad. Like, I don't know, I haven't played his deck very much, so maybe his deck gets bad draws. But just watching it, I was like, man, that, just the way everything was going, the way he was casting his spells, I was like, these are some awkward draws he must have. They have to be some pretty bad draws. And it's always kind of sad watching that happen. But you'd always prefer a much tougher matchup. I've got another cheap removal spell and a Skaab, so I don't need either of these cards. Those are better. I mean, not much better, but a little better. Alright. But yeah, it felt like his draws did very little. Hammer, I mean, dude, Hammer, you gotta clean up some of that play, buddy. Have some misplay for day going on your side. I was tempted to write a little book about it, but oh, come on, man. There were some turns I could have, like, scripted quite a bit differently. You can do better, but that's okay. That's your warm-up. You'll get them next time. I'm sure you will. Alright. You gotta represent, though, you know. Fight Club and Steam Showdown are going on at the same time, and you know those Steam guys, they don't think much of our skills over on Xbox, so we gotta step up. You gotta represent. Okay, Guardians of Kalitas. Oddly a pain in the butt since it makes my Fleshbag bad, so I think we actually will probably take a turn and Fleshbag that. The other option is to cast a Possessed Skaab, but what would we do? We'd dig up Read the Bones and then not be able to cast it, so we'll do this. It's too bad, but with one more land, like if we chop deck another untapped land, Possessed Skaab can get back Fleshbag and take out bigger things. Alright. And he's stuck on land, so we know he has a hand full of cards that do things. So he's just going to keep bringing back stuff like this, and we're just going to have to grind through all this noise. So we'll hit that with removal. Oh, he's leaving the game. I'm going to keep playing because I don't feel like I've got this on lockdown yet. Scabs are good, and they'll help us grind through, but I certainly want to see what else is going to happen in this game. I feel that that concession's a bit premature. He has 5 cards, I have 2. So let's punch him with a Fumarole. Or do we want to set up? Maybe we want to get Read the Bones. 2 options. Punch him for 4, and otherwise we don't develop anything, or get back a Read the Bones and then keep grinding next turn. I actually think we'll go with the Bones. I think the Bones are the winner this time. We're so behind on cards, we want to take an... So do we save Expulsion? Or do we Grasp and start attacking? I really like Expulsion on a Possessed Skaab, just getting back something different. I can't think of a spell I'd want to bounce to his hand. It's not like we're in a stage in the game where tempo is a big deal. At the same time, Grasp on this might be a waste if we could Gilt-Leaf it next turn. So maybe the play is to do nothing. Yeah, I guess I'll say do nothing. That feels funky, but that's what we're going to do. Yeah, Nighthawk, we don't have Goblin Dark Dweller, and that is certainly kind of the deck that was the inspiration for this, is the Goblin Dark Dweller. I really like Expulsion on a Possessed Skaab, just getting back something different. I can't think of a spell I'd want to bounce to his hand. It's not like we're in a stage in the game where tempo is a big deal. At the same time, Grasp on this might be a waste if we could Gilt-Leaf it next turn. So maybe the play is to do nothing. Yeah, I guess I'll say do nothing. That feels funky, but that's what we're going to do. Yeah, Nighthawk, we don't have Goblin Dark Dweller, and that is certainly kind of the deck that was the inspiration for this, is the Goblin Dark Dweller Grixis from the recent Pro Tour and Grand Prix. So that is a big part of where this deck is modeled from. And sadly, we didn't get it. So that's too bad. But my impression of Goblin Dark Dwellers is Gilt-Leaf Winnower, who has Menace, has 4 power, and it can destroy something when it comes into play, which can replicate kind of a Goblin Dark Dweller's effect. Don't get me wrong, it's a super narrow, poor impersonation of Goblin Dark Dwellers, but it's what we've got. It's Magic Duels, baby. This is how we roll. So this is my Goblin Dark Dweller impersonation, my Goblin Grixis. I mean, we don't have Kolaghan's Command, so I'm left with Possessed Skaab and Brutal Expulsion to try to replicate those cards. We only get 1 Kalitas. We only get 1 Jace. You just do what you can over here. You just do what you can. For those who don't know what I'm talking about decks that are being played at like the standard competitive level, the Pro Tour and the GPs right now. Hey, that was convenient. I thought I'd have to get one back with the Skaab, but since I drew it, now's the part where we just kill his stuff and run him over. The deck switches into offensive gear pretty quickly and then can be pretty aggressive and put the game away pretty fast, which is different for a control deck, especially with all the creatureless Esper and the Super Friends like I've been playing, where it seems like the games take forever. Alright. Turn that sideways. Put him down to... Wow, look at that life total go. Down to 6. What did we swing for there? 11? Now he's got a Slayer's Plate. Don't leave Fog open. I don't want to see no Fog left open. I mean, Brutal Expulsion can't stop that. He's got 2 green. He's got a Fog open. Oh well. Can't play around it. Sometimes you have to just go into the Fog. Sometimes you just go right into the Fog. I play this game too much. Wait, no! What? I could have... And he tapped out too. Aw. Okay. It's tempting to get a Read the Bones. I guess the right thing to do is nothing and just see what he does. Although he can't sweep the board or anything like that, so I guess there's no sense in just keeping this in my hand. Let's go get, I guess, Fleshbag. So if he just plays some big monster, it's gone. I'm not conceding Nighthawk. This is the AI. Like, our opponent left a long time ago. The AI just, like, it gets no concession from me. When there's, if my opponent's not going to take the free gold, I'm sure as heck taking it for myself. Zap. Shall we go once more into the fog? Here we go. Let's go get that fog. Wait for it. Ah, okay. Got there. Got there. It was scary for a minute. I didn't know how long the fog might continue. We may draw our whole deck before we get through the fog. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Doing it again. Grixis versus hydration for my brain and my attitude in general. If I get a headache, I get crabby. If I get crabby, I start sparring with people in chat. I hate myself later for being weak and a bad host and putting on a bad show. Can't have it. Can't have it, you guys. Gotta hydrate. It all comes back to hydrate. Primal Bellow after fog. Never would have thought of it. Me either. But think about it. Think about this. If he had Primal Bellowed in response to fog, I could have Brutal Expulsion to the fog, and he would have died. So his sequencing was perfect. Like, perfect. If that, for some reason, is what he wanted to do. Alright. This hand is really expensive and risky. Ugh. Yeah, too expensive. Just does nothing. This hand is fine if we draw the land for the Read the Bones, and if not, we could die. Good times. Let's risk it all, baby. That's how we do. I don't think they're gonna bother fixing the priority bug anytime ever. I think we're all kind of cursed with it. So you may as well learn how to play with around it. You kind of have to put like a little alert, like, you know how you put reminders on your phone or put like alerts to alert you of things? You have to put an alert in your brain that says, when will I lose priority with the things I'm trying to do this turn? And if you do that, you stay out of trouble for the most part. At least that's what I do. I've still made some priority-related mistakes, and it sucks when a card just doesn't work the way it should, like playing something off Abbott when you're tapped out because of priority. But, you know, that's the game they gave us, right? You gotta play the game we have, not the game we think we deserve. Alright, more black is usually the solution when you have all your colors. And, okay, Jace is gonna die. Jace is so freaking dead, but otherwise, how are we going to get cards out of our hand? He's like the deadest dude ever right now. So let's pass to second main and just put him out there. And maybe we'll get him back later with some Possessed Skaabs, right? Oh, he lived! I didn't expect him to make it to the end step. I didn't expect him to be on the battlefield this long. Come on, buddy. You can do it. I don't know what my opponent's getting at. They're 4-color something. They're... Whoa! What's happening? What is going on? What's going on? This is totally not what I expected to play against at all. Okay. Okay. I see how you want it to be. I see what you got doing. I see what you're doing. So do I Jace first? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Go away. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Put that away. That's just too many 1/1s. I don't know what you have in that deck, but it would do something just horrible to me if I let those 1/1s live. I know it. I just know it. I got a feeling. I got a feeling right in my gut. But yeah, I definitely have to get rid of the 1/1s. If the 1/1s don't go away, the fleshbags do nothing. If the fleshbags do nothing, my hand is horrible. And he's going to fire up the spires. That's actually alright. I mean, I'll take the 4. It means he did nothing else with his turn, and I'm ready next time he goes for him. So let's make sure we get our Jacing done. So, Oath of Chandra is probably not very good, but it might be better than a Fleshbag. This is a pretty tough spot. I've got 4 lands. I want my land. I think I don't want my Marauder. It's just really tough. I mean, what could United Front even mean? But we'll go for variety. We'll keep the Oath of Chandra because it's different. It does something different than having 2 Fleshbags. So we'll have better options is the idea. Alright, so 3 cards in the graveyard. We could flip Jace here. Or not. Okay. Possessed Skaab will probably get back Radiant Flames. He must have some kind of a token strategy. So let's leave a red open and let's read us some bones. And we'll set Jace up for a flip. Alright, another read the bones. This is a very card advantage-y matchup, but I don't know if I want another read the bones. I'll probably draw more mana anyway. Read the bones gives me something to do, but I can flash 1 back now too with Jace, so I don't need it. So I'll just put it away. And yay, land! Awesome. Alright, I guess we'll get that and go. If he goes for Needle Spires again, I can Jace flip block instead if he tries to, but I also have Fiery Impulse, so I don't know. We're just kind of trying to lead him around by the nose and see what he does. Alright. His deck, I just don't know what's happening. I guess a Converge theme. I just don't know what's going on over there. I mean, the only thing he's shown me is Needle Spires, and United Front. So what is going on? You just kind of have to be ready for anything. He's gonna go for Nahiri. Okay. Tick Nahiri up. Yep. And he doesn't discard anything? That's weird. I don't have enough mana for that. I think I'm just going to save my Jace loot till I want the Walker here. I might do it on my turn, we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I really don't want... He must have a way to hurt my Fumarole, right? I mean, that would make sense. Well, let's start by seeing if we flip Jace. Or if he kills it. Okay. It's not like Nahiri is a devastating force, but we don't want to lose our Fumarole either. So maybe the play is Gilt-Leaf. Skaab can get back Read the Bones, but that's not a big deal. He probably has some way to kill this. So if he's going to kill it anyway, wouldn't I rather Skaab? Or I can Skaab to get back Winnower. Winnower is at least hard to block. Alright. Guess we will... I mean, Reprisal and Reave Soul, they're both just as likely, so we'll just plus for nothing. And we'll see what he does. This is gonna be weird. This is gonna be really weird. Now we have to fight over a board presence because he has an active Planeswalker. That's never a great place to be when you're control. This deck, one thing I guess I didn't think enough about in the building is just where and how soft it is to walkers, so we're going to put that to the test. And we're just going to kind of try to make a game of keeping a board presence and see what he does with his Planeswalker. He's going up. Does he want to discard anything this time? He's going to discard just the wind. Okay. Got me. You got me. So we don't have a lot of instant speed stuff. I could really use some. Like Grasp of Darkness I would really like right now since he might sack Nahiri. Okay, that's good. Glad to see that. Let's let him turn it sideways. And now you die. Surprised he did that, but glad. Now, does he have the same effect if I go for a Fumarole? You have to assume so. What could he fetch, though? If he suicides Nahiri, what does he do? Go get Ulamog? So is it worth it to try to break that up? No instants down here. So I'm gonna... We'll see what he can do. I mean, maybe he'll go get Avacyn. I don't know. Avacyn would be a real pain. I mean, the absolute worst is if he just has Ulamog in the deck. But let's see what he wants to suicide his Nahiri for. Maybe it's a Limvala. I don't know. It's hard to think of what exactly he could do, but let's learn from the experience. Let's open it up and say, do your worst, and see what he does. General Taziri, perhaps? Reckless Scholar. I mean, I guess he's a Madness deck without Madness spells other than just the Wind so far. It's weird. It's all weird. He's going to 10. Okay, he didn't suicide her or anything. Let's see if he has a solution for the Gilt-Leaf. Alright, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Kalitas. Well, let's attack Nahiri first and see. I'm sure he'll have some kind of response. Pause. Probably a Fiery Temper if he's Madness. Anguished Unmaking. Okay. Oh, my Jace. Okay, dude. You got it. I didn't think that Jace was doing very much. What do you guys think? Is that the play? Is that the play? I don't know. But let's get Kalitas on the battlefield. Let's Oath of Chandra his Reckless Scholar and get a zombie. And here we go. I was pretty worried about my Jace for whatever reason. Every considered a magical armor deck if you've already done it first time here. Magical armor decks, I mean, you can play them. They might be fun. They're probably not going to be very good because really good removal spells and good players just destroy the creature you put your magical armor on. So I'm not a big fan of that type of deck. That's just kind of how I roll. So here's a murderous thingamabobs. Alright. Speaking of weird, how fun would Gilt-Leaf be? Gilt-Leaf's an awesome card. Google it if you haven't. Pretty awesome. Alright, and so, yeah, thanks for the comments and questions. Anybody wants to talk about Magic, especially some of the competitive events going on over on NGA and Reddit, you're welcome to. If anybody wants to talk tournament Magic. My stream isn't, like, really designed very much for brand new players. Oh, what the heck? Suddenly this turned into a zombie deck, or a vampire deck. That's pretty bad. I mean, these are the cards he hasn't been casting? Man, I'm confused. Okay. Who knows? Who knows what's going on anymore? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But I know this is a pretty... I know that you don't hold those cards in your hand and then cast them after Kalitas hits the battlefield. That's something I'm somewhat sure of. I'm pretty sure that's a bad way to go. So we're going to pump Kalitas up and kill Nahiri right now, because if we let it live, it might be able to exile something that's tapped on the way out. And we're both down to 2 cards, but I have the Skaab and I have the Kalitas, which I can get back if it dies. So I think I'm in good shape now. I was worried. I mean, this deck could have been doing anything, and it has some good cards, you know, Unmaking, Nahiri. But then all of a sudden, it's just like, I mean, what happened there, you guys? It's like we took a left turn, right? Because the guy's done mostly nothing, and then he starts casting Reckless Scholar, so I think it's a Madness deck, but then it has these black cards, like, and it's a Vampire Madness deck. Just out of nowhere, suddenly we're a Vampire Madness deck. Okie dokie. Good luck with Kalitas. He's got Elusive Tormentor. That's actually an interesting card. He can turn it into this thing, which is hexproof and indestructible. But does that say it can't block? If it's indestructible, I guess he can transform it after he blocks. It can't block, and can't be blocked. So once he transformed it, he'd have to transform it back. Do I have a way to just kill that? Do I have a Grasp of Darkness in my yard? I do not have a Grasp yet. A Grasp of Darkness would just kill it. I do have a Fleshbag. I can't cast it. So I think I'm just supposed to attack into this. And if he doesn't block Kalitas, I sack the zombie he does block. Okay. No, this one, please. Let's see. Favorite card, anyone? Mine's Kithios, Hero of Akros. Okay. I mean, that's an interesting card. Kithion, the Hero of Akros. He's a card. This card is pretty fun. I mean, you either love this card or hate this card. I like this card, personally. I'm a pretty big fan. I don't know if it's my favorite. There's a lot of cards. It's hard to pick a favorite, but this card is really fun. You both draw, but drawing hurts your opponent, and drawing for you is just awesome. Here comes Isolation Zone. So, he has double white removal in his 4-color deck. My goodness. What a weird deck. We're up against a super brew. You know, you never know what you're going to get when you tune into a CGB stream, that's for sure. And who knows what the heck this guy's doing. Who knows what's going to come at me next. Just got to make strong plays. All right, got to be strong style. Shinsuke Nakamura strong style, and hope it's enough. So we're just going to, in the spirit of being strong style, we're going to Fleshbag his Tormentor. Maybe he has a Madness creature to play? I don't think there's one you can play for 1 mana. No, I'm pretty sure there isn't. Alright, away with you, you elusive Tormentor. You weren't that elusive, now were you? Take that, zombie. The Mighty Gitrog Frog? Yeah, that's a really good card. I mean, good, I don't know about good. Okay, that is a really cool card. Like, yeah, Gitrog is definitely one of the funner cards in the set. For Spiky Spike Me, a card I can't get enough of lately is Tireless Tracker. Like, I just always want that card in my hand on the battlefield. Just makes me feel so good. So I could go for lethal this turn with Wandering Fumarole. I think that plays right into any kind of removal, so I don't see a big point in that. Avacyn, yeah, there's another reason not to do it. He's still here, so if we get close to closing this game out, I might toss him some gold. So 4/2 indestructible. Again, where is Grasp of Darkness when you need it? All right. It's tempting to play Skaab because it gives me a lethal threat on the board backed up by Fumarole. I just don't know what I want to get. I guess I want a Fleshbag. We're at 26 life, so the counterattack isn't the big concern. We have a Read the Bones, so that's not a big deal. I could try to Read the Bones for a Grasp of Darkness and a land, but I don't. I'd just rather have the threat. Let me leave double black up, though, in case I draw a Grasp of Darkness. All 3 are in there, so it's got to be in there somewhere. And let's get back Fleshbag. And we got a fan of the Bronze Sable. Yeah, that's I'm not with you there, but I think you're being sarcastic anyway, so it's cool. We're cool. That card is not for me. Oh my gosh. I can't believe they would replace the Mighty Perilous Mirror with the incredibly underwhelming Bronze Sable. It's like they were trying to make the game more boring. And they gave us so many other awesome cards. It's not like Perilous Mirror would even get much play in the new set, you know what I mean? Because there's so many awesome cards to play. Ranty, rah, 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 rabble, rabble, rabble. So he has to play another card, or else Fevered Visions will hit him, and he plays from under the floorboards. That is actually a very good card for him. He'll gain 3 life. He'll have more zombies. If those zombies die, if those zombies die, he can flip his Avacyn. So I gotta be wary of that. It'll probably be something like Radiant Flames and Fleshbag Marauder. Oh, there's a Fiery Impulse. Let's see. If I Radiant Flames for 1 and Fiery Impulse, I can attack for 3. Nah, no point there. Not enough damage. So it's probably a turn where I attack with Skaab. If he blocks with Avacyn, I can Radiant Flames and kill all his stuff. And if he doesn't, I can Radiant Flames and Fiery Impulse and kill his stuff. That sounds pretty good. And then I still have 3 mana if I want to play my second Visions, which I think I do. So that's my turn. And here we go. Yeah, there are a lot of sacrifice decks that don't work anymore because of Mirror, I believe. I mean, it's just kind of... it's kind of sad to lose Mirror from sacrifice decks. Alright, so 3, leaving a blue. Yep, okay. He's got Make a Stand. That's a big negative. Oh, shoot. Should have Fiery Impulsed in response. Oh, well. So he's going to untap and attack me for... I can get him to kill his own zombies. Let me think for a second. He can turn into Avacyn, and I would take 9. And if he attacks with zombies, I take 10. So I guess it is better to Fleshbag and make him kill his own zombies? But then I don't get Visions on the table, and getting Visions on the table is probably even better. It's pretty tough. I guess if I'm worried about damage, I can always Fiery Impulse one of his zombies on that turn. Then I take 8. Yeah, okay. Well, there's a land. Make a stand. He has made his stand, ladies and gentlemen. He has made his stand. So going back to the tokens theme, he has United Front, which he can do for 4. He has From Under the Floorboards, which can make a bunch of zombies. He has Call the Bloodline, which can make tokens. And he has Make a Stand to pump him up. So I'm starting to see like the theme of his deck, although there's a lot of kind of weird madness, shenanigans also going on. Yeah. Alright. So we're going to Fiery Impulse this zombie. He's going to think. If he has another Make a Stand, he should use it. So now what's going to happen is he's going to hit me here, but then he's going to flip his Avacyn, and his Avacyn is going to kill his other zombies. And then I might have a chance to Fleshbag his Avacyn, although he can make a creature with Call the Bloodline. So I need to draw another Fiery Impulse for this all to work. But if I draw any removal spell, I'm in good shape. It's actually, though, getting to be an interesting game. Getting to be an interesting game. Okay, that ain't it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of those Fiery Impulses are in the graveyard. Dang it. And I'm still a mana short of doing, like, Possessed Skaab, Fiery Impulse, Fleshbag Marauder. It's not good. It's not good. He's at 7. I could try to Fumarole him. I think what's probably better is to try to read the bones and find Grasp of Darkness from this point. I think that's my best chance. I mean, there's 3 in there. I gotta find them somewhere. Nope, need instant speed. There it is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can come in untapped, right? Right. And then we can go Fleshbag Marauder, 2 black up. Now let me see this. Once per turn, yep. He can activate Shambling Vents. I wonder if he sees it. He doesn't see it. Oh, I dodged a bullet. He could have used Call of the Bloodline and activated his Shambling Vents and kept his Avacyn. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta go for it. Let's see, he's calling the Bloodline. That's not a Madness card. So he's got a 1/1. I feel like I should have been able to put this game away, and I messed up somewhere. What do you guys think? Where did I mess up? A little lost on it, but doesn't mean it didn't happen, that's for sure. Call of the Bloodline is pretty effective against Fevered Visions, as they can keep on cranking out little 1/1 lifelinks. I think I'm just going to take that bump. Let's see, at this point I think I have to grasp on the vent. Here comes another Call of the Bloodline, Madness Outlet, Avacyn's Judgment. Okay, and for 8, you got me. You got me. So, definitely should have counted there. Should have done the math. Oh well. Down it goes. And, yeah. Somewhere in there I messed up. I'm not sure. I guess if I watch it back, I'd probably find something. I mean, it was so weird. Just the deck is so weird. Felt like everything going was so weird. But I felt like I was way ahead, and then it fell apart. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe I should have been reading the bones aggressively the second Avacyn came out. That was just a weird game. Just a weird game. I bet if I could play it knowing more about his deck, I'd do really well. Kind of a interesting rogue setup he had. Maybe I need more water. Try it again. But it made for some interesting streaming, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a pretty interesting deck to play against. Just never knew what would happen. Yeah, he probably did draw a lot better off Fevered Visions than I did, and maybe playing it when I did, when he had less cards than me, was probably a mistake. I think I had other things I could do, like cast those Possessed Skaabs that seem to sit in my hand forever, and get back Read the Bones. Instead of giving both of us cards, I could have just given myself cards. That probably would have made a big difference. So that's a plaything I should know better, but I haven't played this deck too many times. I think I played it like 3 times. So from now on, the idea is that when my opponent only has 1 or 2 cards in their hand, and I have like 5 or 6, including Possessed Skaabs, I'm going to play those instead of the Fevered Visions. That's the new plan. Why give them more gas after we grind them out? If they're already ground out, just find ways to finish the game, right? That makes sense. That would be a smarter line. That would be the brain power at work. Had a little bit too much fun. Like, what happened? I drew the Fevered Visions, and I was like, somebody asked me what my favorite card was, and I was like, I like this card. Look at this card. I'm going to play it. Even though, just because you like a card doesn't mean you should play it. I think I got tricked. I really do. I think whoever said, what's your favorite card, got me in that moment where I was like, I like this card. I'm just going to play it without thinking. And when you do that playing Magic, you're being a fool, as I certainly was. It just said joining session. Put me in a session. Let's go. Let's play. Let's do it. Time is it. Ooh, it's already after 7. Or at least here on the East Coast, it's after 7. It's about dinner time. So I got time. I'll try to do just a couple more. Should try to give you guys a better, I don't know, they've been pretty good demos of what the deck does. Pretty straightforward, but I always want to get a few more games in there. For you guys to enjoy. Alright, we will start this way because it makes the other ones enter untapped. We're going to want another black source promptly. Hopefully Read the Bones will provide it. Vessel of something something. Okay. Delirium, perhaps? Is the delirium coming? Brutal Expulsion. I mean, so many ways to kill things. We have to pick the right ones. Somebody says, I think you should put another finisher. I get that note all the time. I play very low amounts of finishers in my deck because I can usually find ways to win with the ones that I have. And I consider running more finishers than you need to be against my minimalist qualities as an individual. So that is a very common note that I'm not surprised to hear, but I personally think that there are more than enough ways to win the game in this deck, and I don't quite agree with the need for that. I think other players will run more finishers because, you know, they want to run more finishers. Finishers are fun. And no way I'm running Kothafed. Just no, not gonna do it. Ain't happening. As great a card as Kothafed is. Now you're just trolling me. So my opponent went and got a pacifist. I don't think there's any point in trying to set up Languish. I think we'll just oath that thing off the board while we can. And play this, and when in doubt, more black is always good. This deck has actually more finishers. Well, maybe not finisher isn't perfect way to say, but the deck has more ways to win, more creatures, and more things that can deal damage than several of my control decks. So you're seeing one of the more win condition heavy versions, where, you know, just running them down with things like Gilt-Leaf Winnower and such. Alright, Arlen's in the house. Can't wait to see how this does against the Walkers, who this looks like it's going to be some kind of... It's either like Naya Wolf deck or a Walker deck. I don't know. We don't have a ton of ways to pressure Walkers. I think it's one of the big weaknesses right now. So he's got a 2/2. What's he going to do? He's going to flip that back over. If I play this, he'll bolt it. I guess we can hold up for Languish and sit back and do nothing. That doesn't feel very good. Freaking Arlen. Thinking. I guess I'll hold up. Maybe Brutal Expulsion can do some work here. It's not like Arlen can make a wolf every turn. But it's probably 4-colorish Walkers here, considering the swamp, and Obsessive Skinner. Okay. So alright, I think I know what's going to happen here. What are you targeting? Well, I guess I'll just do this now anyway, since it's not showing what he's targeting. So, bounce you, damage you. Now you don't have stuff. Well, he's got a pacifist. Okay. Can kill that. What's gonna happen? Arlen is doing what? I'd probably try to push for ultimate since she's not under pressure, but you never know what opponents will do. Yeah, he's going up. I'll just Fiery Impulse now. Get that out of there. Miss. Alright, we'll play that, we'll play this. And we'll get this. So it can clean up more Arlen shenanigans. Which, you know, she has to flip and then flip back in order to do. And he's got a blob. There you go. Beware the blob. And he's going up. I don't know about that. Let's see if he has a way to give that thing haste. I don't think... Let's also see if he has Delirium. He doesn't. Not yet. If I kill Arlen, he will, which is something to consider. So let's go Fleshbag. I'm trying to Fleshbag. Okay. See what happens here. And attack. Right there. So he'll have Delirium now, which may be a bad thing. And let's Brutal Expulsion and return this creature to my hand and do 2 damage to that. And it's exiled. Woo! So there's one way to do some damage to some Planeswalkers. And he's got a 5/4. Yay. I think that's like whenever something transforms, you get a wolf. So we're playing like Delirium human wolves. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's happening anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To Fleshbag it, or to Languish it. He's got 3 cards left. Let me see this graveyard. He milled a bunch of land. It's never nice to see. I guess we'll give him a chance to play multiple creatures next turn, and maybe make him a little gun-shy on keeping one big thing on the board with another Fleshbag Marauder. Especially since we can... He knows I have the Possessed Skaab, so he knows I can Skaab back the Fleshbag. So he should play multiple creatures next turn, and then the Languish can catch him. At least that's what I'm going for. You never know if he actually remembers or cares that Possessed Skaab is in my hand. And here comes a Neglected Heirloom. Okie doke. I wonder what the black is for. Do I know? Has he shown me yet? Not yet. Another 4-color tribal deck thing that I'm just kind of at a loss to explain. I think it's time to get a Read the Bones back. I think that would be wise. Because we're kind of down cards, so let's get back to it. And when in doubt, get more black. And black, black, red, no. Black, black, black. 1 blue open, please. Black, black. Okay, that'll do. I mean, it could be better, but it's pretty much what I'm going for. I guess it doesn't matter if I'm just going to cast 3 of the Bones. What am I doing? I'm getting tired. I'm slowing down. I'm losing my spunk. Alright. Let's see. Yes to you. And yay, land. Whee! It's alright. Now we've got a board presence. It's a 3/2 zombie board presence. Intimidating. Maybe I should be running Compelling Deterrence in the deck. Maybe that would be a good fit. Well, that'll have to get Fleshbagged. That'll have to get Fleshbagged. But yeah, maybe Compelling Deterrence would be a good card since I have multiple zombies and it could remove permanents as opposed to just small creatures. I think I have just too many ways to kill small things, not enough ways to deal with big things. So we're kind of down to the end though. You know, if this this Fleshbag double Possessed Skaab board goes south on me and this Languish isn't a good card in the matchup, then things could get ugly. Things could get ugly. We're flooding a wee bit, so we have to get out of that. Alright. If I ran Compelling Deterrence, there's more combo-y stuff I could do, like bounce my own Possessed Skaab, although I'd have to discard a card to do it. Wouldn't that be awkward? But I could also bounce things like, what am I thinking of? I could bounce Planeswalkers, and if they had no cards in their hand, make them discard, but I find that pretty unlikely. But sometimes you need to bounce a Planeswalker, make them spend all their mana again. Gideon, you know, that's a guy who sometimes just needs to get bounced. That's a good card to draw. Let's see what we find with it. Those Read the Bones are great top decks, aren't they? We'll just draw another one. They're so good. Oh yeah, you land. Yeah, let's go again. Oh, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. What do we want to get back? Probably the Expulsion. We're getting a little low on land to keep getting back Read the Bones. Maybe we want to get back Fleshbag. I mean, that's really not very appealing with a Westvale Abbey out there. But we have a Languish, so we can wipe the board. So, yeah. I think we'll get a Fleshbag. Take out any things that, like a Hydra that he just recently played, things that just go bigger. Well, we figure out, guys, why he splashes black. It's because you just can't mess, you just can't, there's no substitute, you guys, for a 1/2 flying first strike haste. I mean, did you guys just hear that? That's 3 abilities on 1 card. Forget the fact that's a 1/2, that it kills very few things. What's the best Walker's hate deck? I don't play against Walkers. I mean, on iOS everybody plays Ramp, and on Xbox everybody plays this kind of ridiculous junk. So I don't get a lot of time to play against Walkers, but if I had to pick, I really like some of the best games I've had against Walkers. I used an Is It Burn deck, and it was pretty gnarly. And that's probably not that enticing to you, but it is a pretty good list that I should pull out sometime. It does use Storm Chaser Mages, Fevered Visions, and just a whole bunch of burn spells. What else? I didn't have a lot of trouble beating Walkers with my Esper or my Abzan, but apparently other people still do. I don't know if that's just, the variance of where I play or what, but I really didn't struggle very much against Walkers, so I don't know. Let's pump it up. Let's pump up the jam and try to get this game over with. And just flip the script. Who's the aggressor now? I have 5 attacking creatures. Okay. And you're going to take 10, unless he has Fiery Impulse. But at this point, I think he would have used it. I mean, with all the creatures we have, that's fine if he has it. So he's going to go down to 1 after Oath of Chandra hits him, and he's going to have to solve his problems in quick order. You got trouble, is what I'm saying. Boom, Oath of Chandra. Alright, you're at 1. What you got? Solemn Offering. Boo! Gain some life. Take that! I mean, now we know why white is in his deck, right? Did we see any other reason for white? I guess, Angelic Purge. I mean, he couldn't cut the Swiftwings. He had to splash black for the Swiftwings. But, you know, when you absolutely positively 100% have to have a Solemn Offering, you got to run that white. We'll just do what we did last turn. Just put him under pressure. Is he conceding? Okay, he conceded. Let's try to get a one more. And let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Let's try the Compelling Deterrence and see if we can make that work for us. It uses the blue a little bit more, but it's not like we've had a hard time getting our hand on the blue mana. And yeah, Oath of Chandra probably doesn't need to be there, although it is nice as kind of another way to get some damage in. Deck does need ways to get damage in. Needs to get at them walkers. Feel like I should do like a Rick Grimes, like get them walkers. We gotta take out all them walkers that we got walking around. If we don't take out walkers, who's gonna take out walkers? You? You gonna take out walkers? I'll take out the walkers. Oh, goodness gracious. Too much Walking Dead, guys. Too much Walking Dead. And it's getting a little, for some reason, I get a little loopy when it gets past certain hours of Magic. So, Impulse. Like, I've got a lot of ways to kill cheap creatures. Like, a lot. Do I need that many? Could I trim the 5s? I don't know. I think I really, like, this is where the deck kind of turns it around. I've got enough sweepers. Maybe I don't need a Kozilek's Return, but I love the instant speed. It's not like I'm dealing with things like Secure the Waste, Secure the Waste or anything like that. Maybe I don't need all that Languish. If I've got Radiant Flames, Kozilek's Return, do I need Languish? I mean, I've just got so many ways to kill cheap creatures. Let me try it with 3 Fiery Impulse. Maybe that will do some work. We'll just have to see what happens. Also, I don't know if I need more tapped lands. I think I'll just go with another Swamp. Thank you very much. And we'll get out of there. Oh. And we'll get one more in, and we'll see how the bounce spell works. I don't usually like any kind of tempo-y-ish cards in my control if I can avoid them, and that's what Compelling Deterrence feels like. But at the same time, we got the zombies, you know? We got Possessed Skaab. And we need a way to keep from getting just kind of run out of the barn by Planeswalkers. Bouncing them isn't always the best, but usually their like first ability is just like draw a card or make a knight, and you're paying a lot of mana for it. And Planeswalkers usually improve the longer they sit on the field without you paying anything for them. At least Compelling Deterrence can make you pay for them in some ways. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my butt. We'll have to see. It's all an experiment. Like I said, I've only played about 3 games with this over on iOS, and it did well. And here, I don't know, I definitely screwed up one of the games. It's on me. And the other games have been a bit too easy, so it's hard to tell if the deck's any good. And here we go. This will probably be the last game. I'm a bit exhausted, but we'll see what happens. If it's an absolute disaster of a game, we can't end that badly. You know, we can't end on a mulligan to 2 for us or the opponent. So never say never. Anthelon! Bring it on, Anthelon. Bring your best cards. We shall see who will stand and who will fall. This isn't a very good hand. But we've got our mana right. Our opponent's mulliganing to 5, so we'll give them a chance. I mean, our mana's okay. But we're going to have to draw stuff, and if he's going to play aggro, we might just get run over by his 5-card hand. Although just about everything in our deck is a removal spell, so we'll have to flood really bad for that to happen. Or get mana messed up. Like, if I never draw another black source, that'll be bad. And here we go. Nothing almighty about me, Crider. Crider says the almighty CGB. Nothing almighty going on. I certainly lose my share of magic battles. Lost my share today. That's okay. But we're trying to play some different decks and have some fun. But yeah, still on. Kind of in my last game, I think. We'll see how this goes. If my opponent just stays mana screwed, or if things just go hideously for me, we might play another. But I guess I could have played the island. There I am screwing up. Looking at chat, screwing up. So our opponent hit their second land. Lucky them. Let's see what they have. This was a pretty bad hand. I think I definitely should have mulliganed it. The more I think about it, the more dumb I feel. But let's see. We've got Kozilek's Return to draw. We got Radiant Flames. We got Languish. We've got 3 Fiery Impulse. Got a whole bunch of things we could draw that would improve my situation. Will we draw them? Will it happen? I did say I might just completely draw horribly and die to his 5-card hand. It could happen. Now I'm really mad at myself for keeping. Nimbus Wings coming down. Okay. Anything else? Alright. Let's get that off. Alright, this is a big draw step. We either need an untapped black source or just something we can cast to bridge the gap to when we can cast Possessed Skaab. We can't take this turn off. We are taking this turn off. Oh my gosh, this is so horrible. I have more black sources in this deck than any other source. I believe it's 15, 16. That adjustment I just made. I even made sure I added a swamp, not a mountain, when I took out that Cinder Barrens. And yet, here we are. This is what happens. Oh no! He got it. He's got it. He's got Inspiring Captain. He's going for it, you guys. We know his last card. It's another 2/2 bear. So, we got a challenge. We have been challenged. He's going to have first strike when he plays it, which means I'm going to have no good blocks for my Possessed Skaab next turn, which means it's all chumpy chumps. Unless I draw an untapped. A black source! Oh! I did it. I did it. Okay. So, now that that happened, we know next turn he can give his guys first strike, because we bounced his ally. So, we know he doesn't have a removal spell, and probably the best he can do is Declaration of Stone if he has it. If he top decks that or a Reflector Mage, playing Kalitas is a horrible play. But if he doesn't do that, then Kalitas is definitely the right play, because it gives us a way to block even when his guys have first strike. If I play Gilt-Leaf Winnower, I can kill his Envoy, but then he can give this guy first strike and attack into it. And then I just have kind of an awkward block, getting Gilt-Leaf back, but he has nothing else with odd toughness. Whereas Kalitas, if Kalitas makes it through one turn, this lifelink can really start to swing the game. So he is my boy. He is the king of the jungle, as I recently wrote, and we're going to see if he can take it home. Kalitas is the king of the jungle. Look at that crown. He's got like crazy bone stuff. Look at that. He's the man. All right, so he drew a flyer double striker. Alrighty. Gotcha. And we're down to 6. Oh yeah, another black source. I need a lot more than that. Like another one off the top. Or no, next turn. Okay. So this turn I can grasp. Next turn and land. And next turn I can possess and grasp again. So I think that's the line. So yeah. It's tempting to attack here. If he sets up a double block, I could really blow it up. Yeah, I sure can. I sure could blow up any kind of a double block. Now, if he comes back at me for like 6, I can make a zombie block the 2/1. Okay. This might be a bit aggressive, but I want to make sure I get my life gain. He's going to take it. All right. We know he can gain first strike on his turn, so being in like combat against him is just a risky proposition. And here comes the Blade Whirl. First strike for your boys. Here comes the attack. Oh, 3/3's coming too. Okay, so I'll take out the flyer, since if I lose this game, it'll probably be from like drama in the air. I can get my chump on here, and then I can sacrifice it to Kalitas and make him bigger. This does not help me with reprisal. I do have to worry about reprisal, but I have Possessed Skaab to get it back if that is what comes to pass. If not, it's Possessed Skaab Grasp of Darkness for the hotness. Alright, good. So, do we want to do that before or after we attack? We may as well do it before in case he has shenanigans. We would look really silly if, you know, he pulled something off to kill Kalitas in combat and we had Grasp of Darkness in our graveyard and Possessed Skaab in our hand. Our opponent giving us a run for our money, for sure. I mean, he kept a 5-card hand, but he brought it, and our hand was awkward as all get up, and we dug through it. We drew an untapped black at like the last moment where it could actually matter, I think. So a little lucky, a little unlucky for our foe. Although he had a good 5-card hand, you know, there's not a lot you can complain about here. So I think I'll take away his ability to get first strike. I don't want all his guys getting first strike from playing another ally. So now he has to at least trade with some of my guys, unless he has another Blade Whirl. And topple guys, the 3/3 I can block with the Skaab. Unless he has a trick. What trick could he have? I'm starting to wonder if that last card is even remotely relevant since he's gone 2 turn cycles without playing it. Maybe it's Make a Stand. Let's just find out. I don't really care. I get a zombie if they both die, dude. You can't. That's a bad trade for you. Yeah, that's rough. All right. There's a compelling. Very compelling. Yes. Let's see. So we want to leave a blue open. We'll go like this. Do our Goblin Dark Dwellers impersonation with the Gilt-Leaf, and now things are getting pretty out of hand. He'll take it. Alright. 17-3. Now he needs a miracle. Land off the top, planar outburst, perhaps? Okay. And an island. Alright, well. I'll just make him discard that. Oh, he's out. Alright. Got there. So that was an interesting little tussle with humans. I wish they had a 7-card hand. Might have been worse for us. But it was a little close for comfort. A little close for comfort. Okay, I guess I like Compelling Deterrence. It deterred some things. It got there, you know what I mean? Alright, so that's my stream for today. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you had fun. That's my little Grixis list. Let's go back and visit the list one more time. What would I change? I probably threw in like 3 Compelling Deterrence off the top of my head, and that's probably too much because I just really wanted to try it out. It's fine. I don't think it's anything mind-blowing. You'll actually get the discard trigger off it pretty often, which is cool, but that at the same time makes it a lot worse for some of your other cards. Maybe Fevered Visions doesn't belong in this deck. It's just a really good win condition against other control decks, which is why I liked it. And when you can get it out there, it just fills their hand and does damage to them and keeps their planeswalkers at lower loyalty. So I'm not ready to give up on it yet. I definitely shouldn't have played it the way I played it earlier in the evening. That is for sure. I think I really want these, all three of them. I think that the whole kind of recursive element is kind of what gives the deck some juice. Although I'm tempted to try Coastal Discovery instead, although that's like 6 mana to get your 4/4 Awaken land. It's a similar type of effect where you draw cards and you get a creature off it. So, but this one gives you selection. Maybe there's a mix of like Coastal Discovery in this, or maybe that's just foolish thinking, especially with my blue splash being small. I'll go down to 2 of these. I'll go up to 4 of those again, because the early removal is just really crucial to the deck. As you saw, we almost got completely run over trying to get to our 5 drops. So yeah. It's a fun deck. I don't know how good, like how seriously competitive it is, but it's enjoyable. And if you like Grixis and you like kind of odd control, grindy builds without counter spells, but instead like kill everything type decks, you can give it a try. Alright, that is my stream for today. Thanks everybody. I'm sure I will be back later, like a different day. Like I'm done for today. Okay, bye.